Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn how to convert UI design from Figma to Webflow. We'll be learning how to import fonts, buttons, responsive designs, and how to import images. I would also give us a quick walkthrough on how to use Webflow. Please stay with me. Okay, this is what your dashboard would look like on Webflow. Now we'll go ahead and click on the new site for us to create new site. Okay, so when you get to this page, there are like several templates you could use. Some are paid, like these ones are paid, and these ones are free. They are like starters, so you can use them. But then we are going to use the blank site, so we start from scratch. So I'm just going to click on this select, and then I want to write the name of this site to be Figma, which is the name of the site we're trying to build. So I would go ahead and create the site. Okay. Now this is how Webflow looks like. This is an empty site. Everything is supposed to stay in the body. So you're going to see the body. Everything you're working on should stay inside the body, right? So this place is the navigation area. In this side, we are going to see this add element. So in this add element, you are just going to see certain structures. You can use this section, container, div blocks, um, typography, CMS, media, forms, and others. So we would use some of these structures to work on this our landing page, and as we keep going, maybe in our next work we would see other things to use and we would learn it that way. So this is the element area, this is the add element area, this is the layout section. In this layout, basically they are like pre-designed stuff that you could easily use so that you don't have to go through the stress of doing it again. So this is the navigation area. So there is this one that I sent, the logo is in the center. There is one that the logo is at the left. This is the one with shadow. So this is the hero section. You can also pick it and work with and edit to how you want it. So if you want to design something like this and you don't want to go through the stress of starting from scratch, you can easily just pick any of this. There is themes, this teams thing where you put the company the image of the people working in the company, and yeah, so you can pick from here and just work with it. So they are already in sections, you can just drop it inside and work with. So this is logos, in case you want that. There are galleries, you can drop this here and fill it with pictures. Then there are features, there are like so many things: pricing, testimonial, footer. This, you can do this and just edit it. But we are going to be working on the element area. We are designing everything from scratch. So yes, we don't need anything that is already pre-designed. So aside from that, there are like other things you can get in this area. There is components. We would see all this in maybe some other classes as well. So there are settings. There are like a bunch of things here, but we would restrict to staying on this add element area. Also at this side is where you do the stylings. So there is spacing. You can close it and open it back. There is size. There is position. There is topography. There is background. There is borders, and there is effects. So you can add your interactions from here. All right. So generally, this is what we are working with. This is how we are going to work on it. This is the Figma file. So for this thing, if you look at it, you will see that I have made header, there is text, there is image, and then there is footer. This is a very simple landing page that we want to work with. So the way it has been placed here in frames, we are going to do the same thing in Webflow. We'll place it in sections, so everything just stays in section and everything stays in the body at the end of the day. Now for the first thing that we want to do, we want to design the navigation bar. So this is how we are going to go about it. All right, so in this body, we stay on the body. go to the add element, pick a section, name it nav section. You can name it anything so long as you would remember. So when you do that, you will see that everything has changed here, right? So I want to go inside this nav section, and then I want to go to this element area and pick nav bar. Exactly. Now we have this nav bar here. In this nav bar, when you open the container, you are going to see brand, nav menu, and menu button, right? So what I want to do is that I want to bring in another container to house my nav menu. I want to leave just the brand in this container. This brand is where we are going to add our logo. It could be image logo or a text logo. My logo is text, so I don't want to bring in an image. I'm just going to use a text logo, but I'll teach you how to use both of them in case your image is in case your logo is an image. Okay, so clicking on this nav bar, I'm going to bring in this container. I just want to name it links, and then I want to like send it to the top here, and then I want to lift this thing and put in it. Exactly. So now I have like two containers. I can decide to name this one to become logo. This is my container to become logo, right? And then this one, yeah, I can decide to send it in here as well, or I could just leave it where it is. Okay, all right. So by doing this now, I have all of this put together, and then let's do the logo. So if you have an image logo and you want to add it, just come to this place, pick this image, and then go ahead and choose your image. So you can decide to drop your files inside this place called assets, or you can just go ahead and go back to your system and then pick a logo, right? So let's look for my logo. So this is Figma. I can just do this here. It will load and appear over there. Exactly. But I do not really want to use this image logo. So but this is how you can do it. I'm just going to come to this place and delete this image. Go back here on the brand, click on this. I want to use a text, so I'm going to use this heading, and I'm going to type my logo by myself. So it's called Pixel What, right? So this is it. The next thing that we want to do is we want to come to this nav menu, right? Because I have certain fonts I want to use, and I want them to be the same. I don't want to start editing one after the other. I'm just going to clear this one and leave one and style one first, then duplicate it for the rest. So the first thing to do here is my font is called contracts, right? But it does not really exist on Webflow, but you can bring in new fonts. You can install new fonts into Webflow. So when you're done installing into your system, you import it into Webflow. So what I want to do now is I want to go to this typography section, and then I will go to this add font area, this add font. I'll click on it, and then it drives me to this place where I can upload fonts, right? So now I'm just going to, I already had the font downloaded and installed, so I'm just going to click on this and upload it to this place. So it's uploading. Exactly. I'm going to change the font rate to bold. I just have one font rate. I'm not sure this is going to affect it anyway because I just installed one. So you can import as many or as much as you want. So yeah, I've imported it. Now this is contract SB. I want to go back to this place and I want to reload my page so that the effect will show. All right. So for our I'm just going to close this page. For our logo, I use the contrast XP, so let's come here. Yeah, this is it. It's on the costume font area. I'm just going to pick it. I'm going to reduce this size to 24. Yeah, that is fine. I'm going to change this color to 28, 28, 28. That's mostly the color I'm going to use for the black. And then I'll come to this link area. I just have one here, and then I want to style it. What we are using is I'm going to just go to the style selector and name it something. So I'll name it, this is already called Nav Link. I'm just going to name it links. Oh, okay, I already have link, excuse me. So I'm just going to name it nav item. Okay, and I'm going to style it. I don't want to use the contrast for this nav menu. I'm just going to use Excel. Okay, and then I'm going to use capital letter home. Okay, so this looks good. I'm just going to duplicate this, so with command D or control D. So I'll do that. I need 6, so I'm going to do 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, but another thing is that this home is where we are clicked on, so I want it to show that it is an active button. So these other ones are not going to be active. So I think I would just have to delete all of this, and then edit the second one to how I want it to look like, then duplicate it. So let's go back. So command V or control V. So when you get back to this single one, let me style this one first. Like I said, I wanted it to be 28, 28, 28, and then I want it to have semi bold as the font width. And then so when I duplicate this now, command D, I want to add a second style to it. Then I'm just going to name it inactive. Right now, if I make changes to this one, it doesn't affect this because now we have two classes here. So I'm just going to make changes to this one to become normal. Okay, I think there is something wrong. So okay, this is the inactive one. I'm just going to drop it here and then make changes to it. It shouldn't change anymore. Let me see. Exactly, it wouldn't change again. And then I'm going to change this button here, this color here, to 4B, 4B, 4B. I don't want it to be as bold as this one, so I'm going to name it. The next thing should be product. Let's check. So product roadmap community team. So I'm just going to name it product. By so doing, I've done this one. I'm just going to duplicate this. So 1 2 3 4 4 more. So, and then we have community, we have teams, we have contacts. Okay, I mixed roadmap, so I'm going to name this one roadmap, and then I'll just stick it there. All right, so this is perfect. So this one I'm going to send it to third place. Yeah, this is fine. Now that we have all of these things, so if you notice, the container I brought has some spacing that is already assigned to it. I do not want this spacing, this auto. I'm going to change it to 0. Right, um let's see, let's change this one to 0. Okay, now for this one too, it already has okay, it has a spacing margin of 26, 26. I don't want it to, so I'm going to change everything to 0 as well. Okay, now that we have this, we are going to have to align everything to center so that it looks good. So you go to this nav bar, come to this layout. There is a place called flex. So go to flex, right? At this flex now, you want to arrange these things to the way you want it to be. You want it to stay in the middle. The reason why this one has gone to this side is because the links came first and this one was down. So I'm just going to drag it down. So now the logo is at the left and the text are here. The link is here. Sorry, the logo is at the left, yes, and this one is here. So this is how I want it. Everything is now aligned in the center, right? Now for our navigation bar in this section, we want to use a padding of 100 left. No, for this place, yeah, let's use margin 100. Okay. So for this place, for our navigation section, we want to use a padding top of, let's say, 20, and then the padding left, let's say 100. Okay, so this one would still use 100, and here would use 20. 20 seems big, we could try 10. Okay, so this looks good. On this page we want to use okay, we want to change the background to white. Exactly. Now from our design, there is a line here, there's a thin line here which is a stroke, so we are going to add it. So when you go to the nav section, go to the border here, add a line. It's going to add everything, but you have choice, you can select from here. So we want the one down, and then we want to change the color to CE. Okay, so this is what we have. So this is what we have, which we're trying to create this. So this looks good. We are done with the navigation bar. Okay, the next thing we want to do is, so this nav section is done, it is fine now. We can add interactions to it anyway. So let me just show you how you can add interaction. Let's say to this one, let's say you want to hover. So I'm going to click on this item, and then I'm going to go to this drop down. I'm going to pick hover. In this hover, I'm going to style this hover to how I want it when I hover. So for the hover, I don't want it to be black anymore, to be this 28, 28, 28. For you to see what I'm doing, I'm just going to try and, let's say, let me use green for you. We would go back to using gray for the hover. So for the hover, we are picking, let's say, green. Okay, now when I click out, how you see it is when you come to this eye icon, this toggle preview, you just go here. When I hover, it shows me green. So see, I just did for the home. You can do the same for the other ones. It's very easy. All right, so the next thing to do is we want to create another section that will house the hero section itself. So go back to the body. Remember, everything should stay in the body. Go to this plus, add a section, name it hero. Okay, so because for this place we used 100 padding, let's just do the same here. Let's give it a padding of 100, side both side paddings of 100. The top, we could give it 100 too, but when we're done and there is something that is not working, we can always reduce it. So this is what we have. Now let's go back to Figma. So what we want to do is we want to bring this test. This is a big test. We want to bring this body test. We want to add two buttons, and then we want to bring an image. So this is where we're working with now. So I'm going to create a div inside Webflow that will house this. this text and create another one that would house this image, right? But first of all, I'm going to create one that is going to house all of them together. So clicking on this hero, I am coming to div block, and then I'm going to name this div um hero div. Okay, now this is hero div. This is going to house everything, the image and the text. So you see the padding has taken effect, the 100 we added here. So inside this hero, I'm going to click on this hero div. I'm going to bring in another div block, and it is going to be for my text and button. It's easier to work this way so that you can easily make your design responsive, right? So now I have this text and buttons, right? Inside this text and buttons, I want to create another div block that will just house my text, and then create another one here that will just house my button. So button. All right, we would align this later. So now we have this text and button. I want to create one more div block from the hero section, for the hero section, and it's going to just house my image. Okay, now let's start from this text. So for the text, we have this and this. I'm just going to come here, then go to this place, pick we could use another div block for the big text, the heading text, and then another one for the paragraph text. So I'll just create another div block. It's inside this text. Now I'm going to call it heading text. Then still inside here, I don't know if you are understanding, pay attention to where it is located. I'm going to pick another one. I'm going to name it paragraph. So it's always better to work in a container. So yeah, this is what we have. First of all, in the hero section, I created two div blocks. It's called text and button. I want it to contain my text and my button, and I created another one called image. Now in this text and button, I want my text to be in one container, that is in one div, and I want my button to also be in one div. Now my text is two. There is a heading text and then there is a paragraph text. So I created another div block for the heading and another one for the paragraph. So on this heading text, I'm just coming here and I'm going to pick this heading. You see. Now with this, I want to go to Figma and copy this heading. So I wrote it together. You can decide to write it separately and align them. So it's up to you on what you want. Control C, Command C, and then come here and exactly. Now this, because it didn't carry the text that was written on Figma, it's looking different. So I want us to use capital letter all through. I'm just going to edit this thing to unveil digital wonders with our art gallery, and then I'm going to take all of this off. Okay, so in the paragraph div block, I'm coming here and I'm just going to pick this paragraph. You can actually use text or paragraph, so we can just use a text block. It still comes like this, and then you edit this dummy text. Let's just go to Figma and copy what's there. Command C. I'll come here and I'll clear this and I'll just paste what I have. So now we have this thing here. For our body text, we are going to be using Excel, the one we used for the hero section, and then we are going to use CE. We don't want it to complete. Okay, this is looking too bright, so we just use 4B. Yeah, this kind of looks cool. Now we are going to change this one to our contracts. Okay, um So for Figma, I think we used 50. So we can try 50 here. And for the line height, my favorite way of using line height is to add either 4 or 8, depending on the text. I kind of use multiples of 4 to add to the size so that my line height will be more. So I'm just going to use this. I want it to have more space. So it depends on what you want anyway. Okay, this kind of looks cool. Let's see how it goes. Now we filled this place and this place. What we have left now is to fill our button. So when you go to this big block now, you go to the button big block, pick button and come and style your button. Now let's look at our button. So this button is join this code. It is filled, it's black, it has a corner radius of 8. Okay, let's come here. So I'm just going to name, say this is, I can name this button on this class. I can name a class. I would say field button. Okay, right. Now I'm going to say join on this code. Okay. Now for the styling, for the text, I want to use our contracts. Okay. Um, it is just bold that I have, so would make do with that. I want to increase the spacing. The button itself, the one we picked, comes with 15 side padding and 9 top and down padding. So I want to turn here to 20. um the same for this side. I want to turn here to let's say 15. Okay, 12 works. Let's say 12. So we can keep increasing anyway. Let me try 14 and another 14. Okay, this looks good. Now for the color, automatically Webflow gives you 333 even if it is not black. So don't get confused. Just come here and change it. So this is the text that changed. I don't want to change the text. So yeah. So my text is showing 333, but then I use white, so you can still change it, but it doesn't really change anything. So for the button itself, the background, that is where we are going to find this. I want to change it to 28, 28, 28. All right. So for the corner radius, you would see border after the background. Let's close this. You would see border, and then there is a radius here. If you want all sides of it, so this is for stroking. You don't need it. So for this one now, I just want it to be 8, like it's saying. Yeah. So there are changes. This is how it is. There's a corner radius of 8. So if you want to view as you work, you can come here and see what you are working with. So this is how the button looks like, right? Now for the button, you can add interaction to it. So in this button, in this field button, I can decide that I want, when I hover, I want the color to change to gray. So I'll come to the background and I'll change it to gray, just like I taught you before. So when you go back and you hover, it shows gray. It's very simple. Alright, so now that we have this, we want to add one more button. Go back to the button div and then click on button again, right? So you can do this, or you can duplicate your existing button, right? But let's just do it again. So this one says join on Telegram. Okay, so for our typography, we want to use contracts. Okay, for the sizing, sorry, for the spacing of the button, for the spacing of the button, we want to use what we used before. That should be 20, 20, 14, 14. So our button here is supposed to be an outline button. We don't need the field button. So in our background, okay, let's change the color of the text itself first to 28, 28, 28 black. Okay, so in our background we are going to use transparent. Just come here, pick this and come out of it. Go to the border area. You want it to have border with a stroke. I'm going to just pick this. It's two, it's one, so I'm going to change it to two. I want it to be more pronounced. um this black, I want to use 28, 28. The reason why I'm using 28 is because it is not going to give me 0, 0, 0. I do not really like working with 0, 0, 0, 0. You see where it is here. So I'm also going to change this to 8. All right, so this is what we have. The reason why I'm always adding div blocks is it is easier for you to be able to align well, give space, and just work well. It helps a lot. So this is what we have, and here I'll choose this button. I'll go to this flex, right? I would center it, and then I'll give it a spacing of 24. Okay, so this looks okay to work with. So you can also add effects here. You can add when you hover, you want it to do this. When you press it, you want it to focus. You can add anything you want to add, just like I did for this one. So I'll leave that one for you to do the adding. I did not add anything here, so it's still like this. Now that we've done this, the next thing we want to do now is go and add our image. So for this image, I'll go to this image div that I created before, click on the right side, and then add image. Right, now go back and choose the image I want to add. I've not added anything here, so I'll just go back to my system. I already downloaded it earlier, so let's look for it. Okay, so it looks like it is not here, so I think we have to go back okay, it's here, it's here. This is it. I'm just going to upload it here. Okay, now everything is here. Nothing is aligned yet. It's just here, everything is here. So we are going to align now. What we want to do is go to this hero div. That's why I always create a div stuff, so that you can easily flex it and then align it how you want it. So go to this div, hero div here, click on this display. This place is the flex display. So this is what you have. I want it centered. Our image looks smaller, but I'll show you what to do. Now everything is fine here. You can justify, and then you can give it a spacing of 24, which is fine. Okay, so what we want to do now is that this div, I want it to take a size of 100% at the width area, so I'm going to give it 100%, which means that this entire div is 100%. Now I can now easily give this one a size of, I want it to be bigger than the image, so I'm going to give it like 60%. Okay, and then the image automatically I'm going to give it 40%. Okay, so it's kind of cool, but it looks like we'll have to make some adjustments. But before then, for our text, go open this hero, go to this place. This text and button is here, right? Inside it we have text and button. We can also flex it if we want to, or we can just add a padding. If we flex it, we can flex it in a way that will add a space between the text and the button. Or you can just come to this button area and let's say add a padding of 24, so it goes down a little bit. Some of the text already come with certain paddings, like this one came with 10, so we can leave it, or we can just make it 16. so that we get more space below. For you to view exactly how it should look like on your desktop, go to this toggle view and see what it looks like. Okay, this isn't so bad, but I do not really appreciate here so much. So let's see what we can do. I don't want us to start creating the text one line after the other, which is actually the ideal way. But let's see how we can work with this thing to be able to achieve a better view. So here we have for the typography we used 50 and 65. Let me see what we have on Figma. That's okay. We used 88 for the line height. But here let's just add something. Let's say 55 and 88. How would they look like? It looks okay. So this is not bad at all. So this is not bad. So we can use this. I think the spacing here is a lot. I'm going to reduce it. So this spacing now, this the margin, I'll make it 0. Okay. I'm going to just let's see how it goes. I'll use it. It should work fine. And then this whole thing here, the text. Alright. So it was on the button I applied a top padding of 24. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, this looks cool. Now we are done with this area. We've achieved this view. The next thing we want to do is the footer. Okay, so we'll go back to Webflow and notice that everything is under the body. So I'm just going to click the body again and I'm going to add another section. You already know. I'm going to name it a class and call it footer. Now in this footer, what we have is this logo, this text here, the copyright text, and then Nav links, which is terms and conditions and privacy policy. So we can just duplicate from the top there and bring it here. But before then, I'm going to add a padding of 100 here, 100 on the top, 100 below 100. Okay, so this is what we have. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in a div block. I'm going to name it footer div. Now this footer div is supposed to contain all the three things I named, which is the copyright, the um the logo, and this link here. So what we are going to do is we're going to create, we can decide to create 3 more divs, or we can decide to work with just one div. So let's try working with one div, the one we've created. So I want to bring in a text. We'll just bring a text block and go to Figma and copy this thing. Command C. Then I'm just going to paste it here. When I paste it here, I am going to change this typography to Exo. Remember, we are using two fonts. Okay. The next thing, still on this footer div, paste. Then I'm going to pick for our logo. I'm just going to come here and I'll duplicate it. So I'll just command D. It's now to I'll carry it to this place. So because it's in a container, it would not agree to paste. So command D, I'm going to remove it. Then I'll just lift it. I'll command D this brand and just carry just the brand without the block. Okay. All right. So it's here. I want to paste inside this. Okay, so it's here now. The next thing I want to do is still here. I want to add some nav menu on this side. So I think the best thing would have been to still create div blocks for all of them so that I can easily align them. So what I'm going to do is not too late. I can still come to this footer div, then create a div block, and I'll call it copyright. So this copyright, now I'm just going to paste this thing, place this inside it. So this is our copyright div. And then for this brand, I can still come to this footer div here and create another div block and just name it logo, send it to the top and place the logo in it. Exactly. So the next thing I want to do now is the last one, which is the nav link. I'm going to still come here, duplicate this nav menu, command D, and just lift it and bring it here. So it looks like it's not going to work. Okay, so it says nav link can only be placed in a nav bar. Exactly. So now we are not going to use it. We are going to delete this and we are going to create another one. So go to div and we'll call it footer nav. But it does not mean that you cannot carry the nav links in itself to this place. So you can duplicate again and just carry one. But okay, so it still does not work. Nice. I'm just coming to this nav footer nav, and then I'm going to add test block or test link. You can do anything you want to do, but let's just use test block. The test block says there is there's terms and condition, I think. Okay, terms and condition, privacy policy. So terms and condition. So I'm going to style it and call it nav footer. I'm styling it because I want any changes I make on it, because I'm going to duplicate it, it's just follow do the same thing for the next thing I want to work with. Okay, so this is what we have, terms and condition. So I'm just going to duplicate this exactly into privacy policy. Privacy policy. Okay, now we are done with this. Is what is supposed to be here. It is left to the arrangement. When you look at the footer, you will see that there is a line here, just like there is here. So we are going to place this line. Now you want to go to the section, the hero section. It's no, the footer section itself, and then you want to add border, right? So I'm going to click on this one, and then I want it to stay at the top. I don't want this color. I want it to be ECE. All right, I think it's there now. Let's view it. Okay, we have it now. This is what we have. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is to style all these things now. So everything is in this div block. I believe everything is here. So before now, this footer nav, the way it is styled, I don't want it like this. So I'm going to go to the layout section, go to the flex. Okay, it has arranged. I want it in horizontal format. I want to give it a spacing of 24. Okay, this is good. Okay, now that we have that, I want to go to this one. So the entire footer div, go give it a flex. um I want it to stay in the center. So I think there is an arrangement issue here. The logo should be in the center and the copyright should start exactly. Now that I've done this, so okay, so for this footer, what's it called, for this footer div, I want it to stay, everything to stay in the center. I do not want them, or let's say, okay, this is fine. So I want to justify it this way. There is space between. So when you toggle around here, you or when you hover, you would see certain things. This is space around, this is space between. So I like it this way. It has given me a good amount of space. I think my padding was too much. I used 100 before, so I'm just going to reduce it. Like I said, you can always reduce it however you want it. And then for the lower one, we are coming back here and then we are clicking on this place. Okay, for this tablet mode, I do not want the nav section to be 100 is kind of too much, so I'm going to make it 80 and 80, right? So this is the tablet mode. Let's see how I look like. So I'm going to, all of those ones I used 100. First of all, let's go to 80. Let's make them 80. Then we can now find out where we can adjust more. And this section, this footer section, I want to use 80 and 80. All right. Now that we have this, I want to reduce the text size, the font size, to something smaller that could accommodate well. I want to try 45. Let's see what happens. Okay, it doesn't look bad. So I'm going to reduce the line height or the letter. Um, so I just go back to typography. I want to try 65. Okay, I want it to stay on the same height, on the same line, or at least 3 lines is fine. Instead of 50, let me try 40. 40 still looks big. Okay, so but this doesn't look bad anyway. Like I said, the best practice would have been to write the text one after the other so that we can easily align them. But since we are ready, okay, so let's try 35. Alright, so this 35 looks cool. I'm not sure why. Okay. So this 35 looks cool. You can even adjust your buttons and reduce the sizes of this, but we are focusing on the mobile. So anything you do from here, from this tablet, will affect every other thing going downwards, but it doesn't affect anything at the top. So the desktop is still the way it is as we did it before. So I'm just going to skip this one and go to the mobile view. For the mobile view, the nav section is 20. I think I reduced it to 20, so you can do the same. This one, everything now we are going to change it to 20. So 20, 20. And then for the mobile view, this flex, I do not want it to be horizontal. I want it to be vertical so that the image will go either up or down. So okay, the image has gone down, which means that we are going to remove the percentage we assign to it. But before then, we are going to come here and make this a center test. Okay, yeah, everything we want to center it. This button, go back to the flex. We want to center it as well. I think the button is pretty much too big for a mobile application. So I'm going to reduce the text to let's say 10, and then the size I'm going to reduce it to let's say 8. Um, same here 8, reduce 12, 12. We'll do the same for this. So we're going to use 8, 8, 12, 12. And then for the text size, we change that one to 10, the other one we will do the same for this. Okay, so the size we used during our initial flex that we did on this place, we used 24. 24 is a lot, so I'm just going to use 8. All right, so this is what we have. I'm going to remove this 60%. I want it to be 100. Yes, and then for the image as well, I'm going to do the same thing. I want it to be 100 as well. So let's look for the image div. I'm going to give it 100. Okay, so this is how it is. So we can decide to put the image on the top and then put the text below. Just exactly how you want it to be is fine. So we've done for this one. And for this footer, still at the spacing side, we are going to use 20, 20. Okay, now that we've used 2020, in our div we use the horizontal, but now we would use the vertical. So the vertical is fine, it's centered, so our logo is in the middle, privacy is here, and everything is just looking good, right? So that's it for us. So basically we're done with the mobile responsiveness of everything. Here we've aligned well. So let's view. If you come here to look at it, when you click this, you see this drop down, and we did not work on this landscape view for this one too. So immediately you move from desktop, your menu button becomes like this hamburger menu drop down, and you can easily look at it. So you remember I added a hover effect, so it still carries it. So when you hover, you see this. Okay, so for our button, we can go back to center align this thing well. So let's go back to the design section. Come here. When you are here, you want this thing, you want this text to be in the center. Same thing for here. So let's go and look at it again. Exactly. Now it's in the center. So it will take effect for even the mobile app. Everything is now in the center. So you can try your hands on this, try your hands on other things, and let's see how it goes. If you have a question, let me know. If there's something you don't really understand, let me know too. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. I'll be creating more of this. So if you have something you want us to work with together, you can always suggest it on the suggestion on the text box or on the reply box. Okay, thank you so much and see you next time. Bye.